Hi everyone, it's Sadia. How are you doing today? I wanted to say hi and share with you day two of my aha moments. Today is February 24th, 2023, and I've gotten a couple of podcasts under my belt today and a company specific training. So some of the aha moments that I had today were you can start your story over at any time. And I really, really like that. Because really, I started my story over yesterday. So my story is that, I started this in 2019. I started network marketing and I wanted to, take it to that um 5 figure a month, level. I wanted to just change the lives of thousands of my, friends and their friends and all of that. Um, and I had that goal. And I also had the goals, to stay home with my children and to homeschool and to be able to provide for my whole family in a way that we never would have to worry about money and that we could also give back to our community in some ways that we would like to. But what happened is that I, along the way, came into places where I became closed-minded, or where I started doing things wrong. Um, I became imbalanced. I feel that that is like a really good way to say it because even when your mind is 100% on business all day long, like you could be doing it full time, it's all day long, your mind is on business, go, 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 go. You're doing all the right things, you're being consistent about all the right things. So, say you're doing your business 100%, or let's just say like 90%, like even or 80%, like that's huge if you're doing your business 80% the right way, right? But if the other areas of your life are unbalanced, then you won't be successful. So that was an aha moment for me today. You can start your story again at any time. So my network marketing story is started in 2019, but on February 23rd, 2023, I was woke. I was woke. I heard so many little tidbits that just rocked my world. And I talked about them yesterday. So if you haven't caught that video, catch that video on YouTube. Please hit follow, subscribe, and I would like you to comment in the comments on this video what your aha moment from this video is, because I really do want to help you guys as well as help myself by teaching this stuff again. All right. Your story can start over anytime. So February 23rd, 2023, I'm woke. My story restarted. I'm doing the things, and it's not like I'm gonna be doing all the business things because I've learned that being busy doesn't actually mean that you're being productive. And I've heard this again and again, but it hasn't really stuck until now. I'm always busy. I'm always rushing. I'm always, trying to hit things, ranks and minimums and things, and but it doesn't mean that I'm being productive just because I'm like, okay, while I'm sitting with my kids and they're watching TV, I'm scrolling and talking to people. That is not productivity. That is busyness. That is a messy, confused mind. And being confused is not going to get me nowhere. Having clarity will get me somewhere. And having those notifications off when I'm with my kids is going to stop that guilt cycle of like, when I'm with them, I feel guilty because I'm not working on business. And when I'm with business, I feel guilty because I'm not with my kids. I'm going to stop all of that. I'm resetting the switch, or I already have. So, really liked that today. And what are you exposing yourself to that helps your success? What are you exposing yourself to that drags you down? So, I was thinking about this today, and something also stuck out to me. This podcast that I was listening to, the guy, I think it was Darren Kidd today. I was going to say a lot from him because I just started following his leadership podcast, but he said, that when the radio is playing and he's driving, that's wasted time. That's wasted, minutes that his brain could be productive by soaking up something. So today I got to go out and do some errands. And I told myself, I'm not going to listen to music that I've heard 10,000, 20,000 times. And yes, it can be enjoyable, but I want to feed my brain with success. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to a podcast. I'm going to listen to, a meditation at some point, because I need to balance that spiritual side of me as well. I'm going to listen to a company specific training. These are things that I can just immerse myself in, share, take some notes eventually, and just use that time better. Like, that's just sort of like airtime, wasted time. I also just look at my notes here. So, funny thing, this last night I had set my alarm for 5 a.m. because, right, I told you yesterday I was woke. So I set my alarm for 5 a.m. and I was like, yes, I'm going to get up 2 hours earlier than my kids, and I am going to make my coffee, and I'm going to have my alone coffee. That's very important for my self-care, my one alone coffee. And I am going to work. That's going to be when I work. So, funny thing, what I just sort of picked up, in the past couple of days is like this idea that, like, when you first wake up, what are you exposing yourself to? That's going to lift you up for the day. So something, motivational, or maybe it's a devotion or a spiritual thing or whatever. But, making sure it's not the news, that's like negative, making sure it's not just like scrolling through Facebook crap, right? But being intentional about those first few minutes when you wake up, and being intentional about what you listen to, what you read, what you look at right before you go to bed. So I had my alarm set for 5 a.m. thinking, okay, I'm going to wake up and this is what I'm going to do, right? So I have like this rigid, again, it's so easy for me to snap back into a rigid mentality where I'm like, okay, business hours are going to be this hour to this hour at this time, and it's all good intentions, right? But it's just not, it just doesn't really work. Well, so anyway, I turned on a podcast last night with my headphones on. Guess what the first thing he says is? He says, you need to get your sleep. He said 1 hour deviation in your sleep routine, whether it's you wake up an hour earlier, or you get an hour less sleep, or if you get an hour more sleep, you will have, like, I can't remember the percentages and stuff, but extreme decline in your ability to be productive during the next day. And I do definitely can relate to, especially well, either way, oversleeping or undersleeping, just feeling more stressed, feeling like my whole day is off, and feeling like I have to be busy, I have to catch up, or yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good. So get your sleep. So you know what I did? I rolled over, turned my alarm off. I'm like, thank God I didn't want to wake up at 5 anyway. I didn't want to wake up at 5. So I was glad for that. And now I'm going to focus on just being intentional about the time that I do have and just making sure that I have a good balance because you know, that's what we want. That's why, I mean, that's one reason I got into this is because I didn't want to be in a rat race. I wanted balance. So striving for balance, yes. Intentional about pockets of time, yes. Okay, this was another one that I was like, wow, blew my mind today. What you don't hate, you tolerate. Wow. Okay, this blew my mind. What you don't hate, you tolerate. So if you feel like you're happy with where you're at, you don't hate it, then you're gonna stay where you're at. If you're, happy with being so much in debt, you feel comfortable there, you're gonna stay there. But if you hate it, if you tell yourself I hate it, you're not gonna tolerate it. So I'll tell you a little story. Yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. It was either yesterday or the day before. I don't even remember now. I had a horrible day. It was yesterday because well, I didn't let it ruin my whole day, but a lot happened. But basically, I couldn't find my wallet for 2 hours and it messed up my whole routine. Like I was planning on going and buying stuff for dinner and cooking dinner and doing all of that, before my husband got home from work and doing it before the kids needed to go down for a nap. So it really ruined my plans. But 2 hours looking for a wallet. And I got to thinking to myself, okay, how often do I lose my wallet? How often do I lose my keys? How often do I lose my kid's favorite lovey? Like it's all the time. And I hate it. It makes me crazy. So what did I do? I invested in my mental health. And I got those little tag things. And did I think that I could afford the amount of money that I was going to spend on them? No, I did not. And I have talked myself out of it for years, you guys, years. Yesterday I said, how can I afford it? How can I afford it? Because I need this. Because I hate this. So I made it happen. And that's just all of that together. Beautiful. Made it happen. Beautiful. Once I get those little tags in, I'm never gonna say where is my whatever again because I'm gonna ping, there it is. So I got to thinking about other things that I hate. I hate that I will try to multitask when I'm with my children. I hate that. I want to be with them intentionally and I want them to feel that and know that when I am with them, I am with them. So I hate that. I hate that I do it. So I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to do it. I also sort of learned that, we in our families, we learn from our parents' mistakes, right? So my parents were business people and our kids are going to say just like I say like, oh, I don't want to do that because I saw my parents doing that, and I didn't like that or I didn't like the way that feels or whatever, and I don't want my kids to feel like that. So we sort of used our past experiences to sort of shape our own values. So, for example, that I know that having that intentional time with your children where you are not distracted so important for them and for you. I hate that when I was a kid and, with my parents' businesses, we would always travel. but not for pleasure. We would travel for work only. So our whole travel experience would be miserable, from the packing to the transportation to where we stayed to the business part of it. Everything, every step of the way was busy, rushed, stressful, yelling at each other, just not healthy. So I hate that, and I will not tolerate that. Um, I hate that my husband has to go to work right now. I hate it. I would love to have him with me, you know, anytime I want. I want him to be with his children anytime he wants, but he can't because he has to work. And I hate that. So I'm not going to tolerate that either. You see where I'm going with this? So what we don't hate, we tolerate. So learn to hate what you want to change. The more prepared you are, the more confident you are. So I watched a training recently about, for my hair care business, about going in and talking to owners of hair salons. And immediately I shrunk back and I was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't want to do that, because I'm not confident in myself enough to put myself out there like that, I feel like I'm going to be humiliated. I feel like I'm going to be turned down. I feel like, maybe they'll yell at me to leave or something. But if any of those things happened, would it be the end of the world? Not really. Not really. I may be shook for a second, but I can shake that off and move on. So I began thinking to myself, okay, so this isn't something that I'm going to just do tomorrow. This is something that I'm going to listen. I'm going to be coached. I'm going to be coachable. And even though in my chest is already like this, just thinking about it, I'm going to do what everyone is telling me to do, that has been places I have not been in my business before, that I'm headed. I need to do what they tell me to do. So I am going to learn about all my ingredients. I am going to have a presentation. I am going to have my products there. I am going to ask for, do a walk-in and ask for 5 minutes of their time. I'm going to be prepared. And I want more to be the person that supplies all of these salons and spas and, natural health places. I want to be their person. I want to help them, and they're in turn going to help a lot of people. And in turn, that's going to, lift us all. So I want to be that person. Am I just going to sit back and be scared and let somebody else be their person? Hell no. Oh gosh, these are so fun. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Oh, I also learned, okay, so here's a great reason to turn notifications off for, like, your social media or Messenger, whatever, text it, turn your phone off, whatever. Here's a great reason. Now, I get distracted like thousands of times a day, I feel. And I think that adds to that busyness, because I'm distracted and I'm like, the hell was I doing? And then I'm like, oh my God, what time is it? And I got to get this done. I got to get that done. So limiting your distractions is huge. I learned that every time that you're distracted, it takes you like 23 minutes to get back on track. Every single time. Holy crap. So that means, excuse my language, that means that every time I'm chilling with my kids, and I'm trying to pay attention to them, but I'm half trying to pay attention to my business. Every time I get those messages, my kids are just hanging around like, Mom, I'm here still. When are you gonna get my juice? Like, when are we gonna start playing this again? You know what I mean? So, again, that sort of goes back to being intentional about your time. And part of that, piece of that, is being intentional about limiting your distractions with the things that you're doing. So all of these things lead you to a better balance. All of these things lead you to better business. And I hope that you're hearing things that you haven't implemented yet and that you are feeling excited to implement, because that's how I'm feeling. That I'm feeling so good about these changes. So I hope you are too. And we'll talk soon. Remember to please follow, subscribe, and comment your aha moment from today. Talk later. Bye.